I really liked the first Taken with Liam Neeson. The 16 that happened after that I could do without, but the first one was high drama, high suspense. This is a really fun action movie. There's that iconic scene that everybody remembers from that show where the girl is under the bed and she calls her dad, and there are people in here and they're going to take me. And he's like, okay, calm down. You're going to be taken. Except it's like how he sounds. And he says the whole thing to her, right? And it's like, this is what's going to happen. You're going to be taken. This is what they're going to do. Don't freak out. And he intones, I'm not going to give up on you and I'll be there. And then he gives that, I have a very particular set of skills speech that, whoa. But what I want to focus on is that reassurance that he gave her, even in that moment of crisis, that he was still going to be looking out for her and that he wasn't giving up on her and she shouldn't give up on him. And that's really what the book of Jeremiah is. God has told the people of Israel through the prophet Jeremiah, hey, Nebuchadnezzar's coming, Babylon's coming. It's kind of over for you being an independent state. You're going to get hauled off into captivity, but don't freak out. I'm not done with you. And maybe the most famous phrase from Jeremiah's entire book that illustrates that point is also one of the most oft-quoted internet verses of all time. It's Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. The first time I heard this, and this wasn't a super popular verse when I was a kid, but the first time I heard this, it's like, holy cow, I'm at a place in my life where I'm facing huge decisions. I don't know what to do with myself. I live a long way from home. I'm in college. I'd like to find somebody to love me and marry me. I'd like to figure out what I should do for a career. And then I run into this verse and I hear people talking about it in a Bible study. I'm like, yeah, God has plans for me that are good. So I just need to relax and know that I'm completely going to get the right education. I will definitely find a wife who will be awesome. I will definitely have friends. And that verse, as I understood it out of context, fit lock and key with my felt needs at that moment. And here's the thing, we've talked a lot about verses in this series that are misunderstood. And this one's probably the granddaddy of them all in 2015. But God used an out-of-context verse here in a way that probably was good and useful in my life. But it doesn't change the fact that even though I felt peace from this, that verse does not mean that when you're struggling with life decisions, you can be assured that everything's totally going to work out. God is in no way in this passage talking about individuals thousands of years from now in a society that hasn't been invented yet and how they will get the things that they desire if they just believe in him, sort of. He's talking about the people of Israel with whom he has a covenant, a deal, to say they're supposed to honor him and he's supposed to have their back. And Jeremiah is about how they blew it and they didn't honor that deal at all and they wanted to chase after other gods and a bunch of stupid crap. And eventually, God says, all right, I'm just going to kind of pull back here and this is what's going to happen. But even as these bad things happen and even as you go through this pretty dramatic and difficult correction, just know I'm not done with you. And as we look at the bigger context of Scripture, we realize that a big part of the reason he wasn't done with them, in addition to the fact that he loved them, is that redemption was going to come through those people. God wasn't going to let Israel be finished because out of Israel and out of the Jewish people was going to come Jesus, and out of Jesus was going to come the redemption of all things. So there's some much bigger picture theology going on here with this promise that's coming through the prophet Jeremiah than what we often observe when we kind of cheapen this down to more of a, hey, I think things are going to bounce my way kind of verse. Offthepage.com is the reason this whole fun little series has happened. I've had a great time making it. I hope that you've enjoyed it as well. If you haven't had a chance, please go and check out what they're doing at offthepage.com. I like the people who are running it. They've got a whole bunch of different contributors coming from different perspectives. I think you'll appreciate what they're doing as well. Thank you, buddy. That's enormously helpful. So, again, I am grateful to them. Thank you for being a part of this series, and we'll do a bunch more 10-minute Bible hours soon. All right, take care.